Yep, it's time. We need to start on the boat. We've been procrastinating. And the reason we've been procrastinating on the boat is it's a messy job. And, well, you know, messy from the perspective of you're working with fiberglass and epoxy, and it's crazy. Hi, I'm Hubby with Just About Anything Garage. Welcome to the video. This is the promised video on getting this 1964 Correct Craft American Skier done. You can see that we've already got its stringers epoxied in and stuff, and we need to go ahead and put some fiberglass tabbing on it and get the floor in, and then get the motor in, which is we had professionally rebuilt. That's, I don't know, $6,000 total that we have into that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that project started. We're going to go and we're going to clean up around it. We're going to clean up in it. We're going to get my niece's car the heck out of here so that we can pull this out and clean her out with the hose and stuff and do a bunch of stuff to get her ready. Then we're going to go ahead and fiberglass epoxy those floors in and get the motor in and clean up her hull, put a new windshield on her, and get her done. All right, that'll probably be a series where we'll start with the floor stuff. We'll show you how to do that, clean it up, and then put in the other components like steering and the electrical and the engine and all that type of good stuff. So you guys hang on tight. We'll be back with the project of getting this 1964 Correct Craft American Skier, the precursor to the Nautique, all set and ready to go. And we hope you enjoy it. So just hang tight and we'll jump right into it. Okay, we got her peeing because obviously we pulled her outside and hosed her off, so we can get ready, pull the stuff out of it and strain it. Now we'll have to go in and vacuum it after because we got some solids in there, but we want to work with a clean surface when we go ahead and we do this fiberglassing. So we'll probably hit it not only with this is just a rinse out. We'll hit it with probably some super clean, spray things down to get some of the dirt out of it, and then finally we'll hit it with some acetone when we go to get ready to do it. But she's out watering off, ready to do things. We're going to clean up the bay, you know, push some of the stuff back here, you know, that's in the way. It's right up against the bottom of it. It won't interfere when we're working inside, but when we come to do the outside it will. But this is where we've been storing stuff, so some of this is going to go upstairs that we won't need, like all of this. I'm going to hang the retractable hose. The reason I haven't hung it already was up here in the Northeast, when it gets cold, it gets really stiff and it's hard to use. That's why I got these newer rubber ones like you see up there from Eastwood, the hybrid polymer air hoses. They don't do that. They stay pliable even during the cold. But I'm going to go and get that done, and we'll break out the epoxy. We're going to clean this table off again, get it set up so that we can go ahead and I'm going to make a little deep pan out of 2x4s and some plywood, and then put some plastic down, stick it to it so that we could pour the epoxy right in it, soak everything, wrap it on the stick and bring it up and just open it up and lay it out. That'll be the easiest way to do this, because we're going to get probably a 20-minute cure time. So the cross members here pull up, they're not epoxied in or anything. They need to be trimmed down a little bit more once we get everything fixed to where we need to have it. But that's where we're at. We're making some progress. We're getting it done, cleaning some stuff off. We'll be ready to go on the epoxy stuff here shortly. Some dirt out of there. Whoa! Nice 100-foot hose on a reel. Comes from over there. They got a water outlet over there. The one that I have right here that I usually use, buried right there, is leaking on the inside of the bunkhouse. So I gotta fix that. But this reaches, so if we have to power wash it too, we can do that. All right, just a quick update. We'll be back with more exciting action. exasperation. Okay, we're back on the boat. We hosed it off, right? We brought it inside. It's still draining water, but we're gonna hop in there and we'll do some vacuuming here. We're almost to the point with this, but we're gonna talk about it for a second. But I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I did this all the time, unfortunately, have you ever maximally annoyed yourself because you're trying to be neat, you're trying to get things set up, and then you move shit and you can't find it? Point in case, I got a big yellow light stand with the big halogen lights on it, and I want to put them up to shine in the boat so I got plenty of light. Can I find the damn thing after I moved it about? No! I can't find it anywhere. And I've walked around the shop about 4 times already. And it's not huge. You know, we're like a 1,300 square foot shop here, but do you see, you know, there's a little one up there. I could grab that one, I suppose. But I'm looking for my stand one that has 2 lights on it. I was using it. You've seen it in other videos. Yeah, let me know if you spot it. Wave your hand or something, because I'm not seeing it anywhere. I don't know where I put it. Ah, look at that, hiding right there. I hid it in a corner. Oh my God. This is a real channel, guys. We talk about our irritations, our failures, and our stupid crap that we do to ourselves. So bear with me. But you know, I thought I'd bring that in because I hope there's some of you out there that do what I do, and it's just not me being stupid. So let me go ahead and set some stuff up here, and we'll come back and actually maybe get some real work done instead of spending 20 minutes looking for something that you should have known where it was 5 minutes ago. All right, we'll be right back. Hang tight. All right, so we're all set up. I couldn't have any of my kids here to help, so I have my button pusher. And if you're a parent, you'll get that reference. Why? We're gonna do a little back, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do here. So let's go ahead and get some vacuuming done. Get the hard materials out that didn't get sucked up or run out the drain hole. Pretty nasty. Sorry for the wobbling. I'm on the trailer instead of a stand, so the boat is wobbly. Big items to remove. clean, fairly clean. I mean, we do have a little bit of mud. Let me show you. Get you out here. Down here, we'll just wipe that up. But we've got most of the big stuff up. We'll go and we'll pick some of the stuff up by hand when we do this. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We want to tab these in. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take the station cross members out because they're just stuck in there. They're not, right? They're not glued or anything yet because we've got to get all the heights set. And in this section where I'm standing here, you can see is where the motor goes. So this one, they'll be cut flush here with this edge. Same on this side. The next three, we'll do that. Oh boy, that one's in there tight. Come on, baby. There we go. And they're labeled so I know where they go. These are all the stringers and stuff are pine, and we did penetrating epoxy sealer. That one's in there pretty good. Some of the moisture. Okay, that one may take a little tappy to do that. Get this out of here while we're standing there. That one came out. Because I do that with all, I mean, you can get rot resistant like cedar and stuff like that in hardwoods, but pine will work fine as long as you do the precautions. So this has all been treated with 4 coats of clear penetrating epoxy sealer to just seal off the wood. So anytime we put a hole in it or something, we'll hit it with epoxy so that stop rolling back in. Okay, and we gotta get this last guy out. Oh man, this thing is wiggling. I've got all kinds of wheels, chucks. Oh, that one's right in there. There we go. Got it. As you can see. All right, so the stringers are all lateral and epoxied in, okay? And what I did when I did this is usually you take where the old stringers were out, right? And you'll grind it right flat to the hull of the boat. But what I did with this is I left them grooved a little bit, right? They had, let me show you in the back here, you can see in here where there's a ridge. I left some of that ridging in so I know where they went, what the thickness needed to be, and so I could fill it with epoxy and press them in. And so that's what we did with that, so we got a little bit of ridging. The next thing we need to do is take out this chunk of stuff I missed. Is we're going to want to do some fillets on those, okay? So normally what you do is you're going to fill it so you get a nice smooth corner. So we'll take some structural epoxy that we can get from Total Boat, and we'll go in here and we'll lob it down and we'll make a nice little fillet, right? So it comes down and it turns around like this on all of these before we do the fiberglass tabbing of it. And what that'll do is it'll allow the fiberglass to lay down and not have any gaps in it for air gathering. Now, not that it's a huge deal, but you get a stronger and a better seal when you do that. When you lay it in and you have it do that, it'll lay up against all the material in here and keep it all tight, right? The only thing that we're concerned with this is that we have enough structural support that when you're standing on it and you're walking on it, when the boat's moving, because the hull compresses and expands when you do this, that it doesn't break and that the floor stays supportive, right? So this front bulkhead piece here marks the beginning of where the engine compartment is going to be, right? So you can see that we've got one of the cross members, the frames we'll call them, that come across and sit level. This line right here is the level where we want the floor to be, or the level where the stringers are going to be, so that when we put the floor in, it'll have a 1/4 inch floor thickness to it, right? So we're going to come and we're going to make we're going to use 6-inch tabs, and we're going to put them 3 inches up, 3 inches down. Use that filleting to make a nice smooth connection to it. We'll do it all the way on both sides of it, so that we keep them nice and tight in. And when we're done with that, we'll then prefix the height. We'll put the cross members back in onto it. We'll set their height. We'll cut, we'll groove this a little bit deeper if we have to on these and get them flat and get them in there. And then once that's all done and we've got all that together, we're going to go ahead and we'll clean it up again. We're going to go ahead and shoot some bilge paint on it so that we get it all consistent and all sealed up like that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put the floor on it. And the floor is just going to be regular plywood, it'll be marine plywood, so there's no gaps in it. We'll seal it. We'll do the epoxy, clear penetrating epoxy sealer on it, and lay it out. So the compartment will be, the engine is, if you can see here, here's where the connection is to the motor. That's the water import for cooling. That's the bulkhead that marks the forward. So the stringers here will be cut. The one cut be here. They'll come across this and then get cut flush. So we'll make a nice square compartment. The engine will sit right in here. On top of it, we have tilted mounts to it. I'll show you them later when we get a little bit closer to the mount too, so you can adjust the height forward and back, so you can get the correct connection angle with the output shaft. And we'll primarily have it all back together. We won't put the engine in immediately because we're going to want to lift her up a little bit. We're going to want to sand the hull a little bit and then squirt some additional paint on it to seal the hull. And we'll also do the top part of it when we get to that point. We'll clear everything out of it, give it a quick squirt, and then put everything back in. We're going to change the steering wheel on it. This has got its old steering wheel. I got a new one with a new mechanism for it. It's cable driven, not cable like you would think cable. It comes out here and it connects to the rudder portion there. Up here, we're gonna have to put a bolt hole in it right about where the steering wheel is, maybe a little bit back from it, into one of the stringers, so we can put the shift rod on. The shift rod will come in. The electrical bundle will run back down and up through and connect on everything that we need to go. Okay, so that's the plan. That's where we're going to go with that. We'll replace the windshield when we get ready to do that. You can get new ones on order for that. We'll make sure everything works. But we're going to focus on this floor, get this floor in, get it done, and we'll go from there. All right, so hang tight. We'll get all the materials together. We'll go through and clean this one more time, but we're going to do it with like acetone and different things where the runners are, make sure everything's good, clear where the runners are, and we'll make sure this is all clean as well, and get these things tabbed in. We'll be in good shape. All right, so sit tight and we'll be back with the next section. Oh, hey, look, a beautiful day here, huh? All right, let's talk boats. Seems how you're on a boat video, right? We got a bunch of stuff in it. Simultaneously recording this boat stuff along with getting Ghost. So go over and watch that one ready too. And I wanted to take a break and start working on the boats because I keep whacking my head on the carriage arms underneath it for doing it, so I need a little break from that. So we're gonna do that. We got some stuff in for the boat, okay? So this is an order from Total Boat. I got one in earlier I showed you, but this is structural putty here. It's a, you know, it's like, what is it, Everclear or Evercoat or something for automotive, but this is for boats. It's from Total Boat. This is 6-inch wise fiberglass for the tabbing that we're gonna do on the boat in here. We got her all cleaned up, well, mostly cleaned up. We got to do a little bit more of it, right? We vacuumed, we pull off the stuff in the last segment. We got it all dry down here, so you go back in and rub it with some stuff and vacuum it up some more and get everything nice and clean. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that structural putty and we're going to do our fillets on the side, so that we can have a smooth transition from the side of the stringer down into the floor, right? We're going to make curved fillets on that all the way down on all of this, so that when we come in and we lay the tabs in, they'll just adhere to it. There won't be a lot of pockets with it. Okay, what we're going to do first is on the back here. Let me pull this down here so it's not in the way. We're going to build a little tray here, the length of it, that we're going to go ahead and we're going to use as our setup. We're gonna, it'll be a little tray, and we'll just make it out of wood, put some plastic in it, and then what we're gonna do is we'll mix up our epoxy when we go to do this, and put it in a thin coat of epoxy so it spreads out. Because when you lump epoxy, and you know, you keep it in a cup or something, it concentrates the heat and it cures faster. It'll give us more curing time. And the other thing we can do is we can then take the 6-inch wide tabs, cut to the length we need, right? And we need, in most cases, 12 footers. We'll need some shorter ones because of the bulkhead in there, but cut 12 footers, and we'll saturate them. We'll drop them in them separately. We'll probably do them like 4 at a time, do the outside stringers and then the inside stringers, so that we can just do it. We'll put them in there, and then we'll overfold them on themselves. We'll pick them up and drain off a little bit, take it, apply it, and use my little tool or a squeegee to get the air out and to get the tabbing in. It'll go really fast. It should be the cleanest way that we can do it with the least amount of dripping, and it'll allow us to get them all done. We'll do all the tabbing. Once we got all the tabbing done, we're going to tab right over the weep holes for where we have water come through. We'll go ahead with the whole saw and we'll cut them back out. Then we'll come in and we'll lay out the levelness for the cross frames. We'll get them down to where they're supposed to be, and then we'll epoxy them straight down. We'll probably use the structural again for that, to epoxy them down to the little supports that are right there. Once we have that, there's a couple holes we need to drill because we need the control for the transmission to come through. It's a big rod that comes through, and we need the steering rod that's going to come straight up and through, the cable that comes through, and then electrical. So we'll need 3, 1 on this side and 2 on that side. We'll cut those holes. We'll go ahead and take some epoxy and seal it so it doesn't get into the cut seams. And then once we have primarily everything into the bottom that we need while it's open, we'll go ahead and lay that out, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get our plywood, we'll face it, we'll cut it, we'll get it to where it needs to be, and lay it down and epoxy seal that. Again, we'll use marine grade plywood to do that, and we'll seal it with clear penetrating epoxy sealer, and then a final coat of full epoxy to just make sure that we got everything kosher. And we'll lay it down, we'll put it in, and then we're ready to set the engine. Now, before we set the engine, although we may set it just to make sure that we got everything set up correctly, before we permanently put it in, once the floor is done, and before we put the floor down, I missed the step, we're going to come in and we're going to spray it with bilge paint to make sure that it's all painted and covered. Then we'll go ahead and get it secured. We'll drop the engine in, we'll make sure that it's all lined up, we'll pull it out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come out to the hull, and we're going to clean the hull up. We're going to sand it down a little bit, pull off the things, and make sure it'll take paint. And then we'll come back with some barrier seal and just some white hull paint, and we'll paint the hull. We'll probably just use a brush or a roller and put it on, and then tip it with your brush to take out the air bubbles and call it good. We'll come up to the top. We'll do the top, pull off all the fixtures, clean the top up. We'll go ahead and spray that. You know, it's got little micro cracks in it, but we'll use a heavy filler, heavy primer to fill those. I'm not going for perfect here. I'm going for nice. It looks really good. I want it to maintain some of its character of being an older boat. I don't want it to look like it was manufactured in 2025 to the old style. I want it to look like, hey, this is a survivor. We'll get our windshield, we'll get a new windshield in, we'll get all the electrical hooked up, and we should be ripping. I don't know if we'll get around in time to run her this season. We might. We'll see what happens, but if not, she'll certainly be ready for next spring to go take a test run. We'll certainly test fire her in here, but we want to put her on the water and drive her a little bit. And then she's probably going up for sale, so if you think you might be interested in the classic American skier, we'll let you know when that's ready, and you can get a hold of me. All right? So that's where we're at, so stay tuned. We're going to get the tray built. We're going to get things set up to go ahead and do the tabbing. First the fillets on it, and then the tabbing for the boat. So hang tight, we'll be right back. All right, so we cleaned it and brought it back outside and hosed it, and now we got more dirt that we got to do. So I got to get in there with the shop vac and pull that up. But we are pretty good and clean now because I scrubbed all along the edges of the stringers to make sure there wasn't any trapped dirt and stuff. And let's get down here, it's dirty down here and on the stringer. We'll see what that's about, but not a big deal. So we got to vacuum it out and make sure we get all the dirt out. The one thing you do need to do when you're doing this is to make sure where you're applying is going to be clean. So now we get the majority of the dirt that's gotten down into the cracks in there out. We'll go ahead, I'll get a spray bottle with acetone, I'll spray it, I'll brush it off, and then we'll wipe it down with a towel or something to make sure it's good and clean. And then we're going to go and do the fillets, using the structural putty. And once those are done, we'll set up to do the tabbing on that. All right, so we'll be right back with the next exciting action part. Okay, so we're back up in the boat. Obviously, I'm walking around and everything is creaking here. It's, you know, wobbly and everything. Anyways, it cleaned up pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get ready to go ahead and put the fillets in. But the first thing that we're going to do is, I've got this container right here. It's filled with acetone. So let me give you just a quick look of how we do this. Okay, I don't wipe it because the edges will catch. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to spray this down here in this area. We're going to go around the boat and do that. And I'm going to take the brush and brush it a little bit, and then let it go ahead and evaporate and dry off. Because all we're trying to do here is we just want to get make sure that there's no oils or anything, so that the fillets will stick. So that's all we're going to do here. If my spray bottle cooperates here. With me. How are we doing this? Well, let's get some loose stuff there, so let's brush that away. Okay, so that's what we're going to do throughout the boat. I'll set you up and we'll probably go into hyperspeed mode, because you don't need to see 20 minutes worth of scraping. But I don't know, what, 40 seconds of it, we'll compress it, come on, and we'll do that. We're going to get you set up here, get these handles out, and don't be surprised if there's wobbling, because the boat's pretty wiggly up on the stand. And I have a handle being difficult. There's a built-in tripod on my extended battery, which sometimes is, there we go, difficult. Set you up in here, pick you up a little bit, and hopefully get a little bit of action. Right. Good crank. All right, so all the joints have been done. Let that totally flash off. It doesn't take long because it's, I'll put you up like this, acetate. And then we're gonna go ahead and get set up. We're gonna start to spread some structural putty on this. We'll show you what it is and how to mix it up, and then we'll go to town. We'll probably go into lightning mode for that too, because that'll take a while, but we'll give you some shots of what we're doing. All right, so hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, so here's what you're gonna need. I'm using Total Bolt structural repair putty. It's got fibers in it. It's like Evercore. What is it? Evercore. It's kind of a blue. You're gonna mix it with the hardener. It's a MEKP kickoff that catalyzes and then done it. Okay, you can use a Tyvek suit if you need to. I won't do it in this case because we're doing structural putties, but I will when we do the fiberglass, because it's just a big mess. Of course, you need rubber gloves, and you're gonna need a matter board to mix it up on. You're gonna need two separate mixers here. One you're gonna use to take it out of the can and put it on. The other one you're gonna do is mix it when you get the MEK, and you got about in this temperature where it's about 81, probably a 15-minute working period. So we're going to do it in small batches, so it's going to be back and forth a lot. I'm going to show you on the bulkhead how we do this, and then I'm probably just going to go do it and show you the results, just because you know, again, you don't have to look at 800 million hours worth of applying it. It's all the same. If I run into any issues, and the reason that you want to use two separate, you want one to shovel it and put it on, and then one to mix it, because once this gets MEKP on it, it's going to pollute your other stuff. At a point in case, I went to open this one, it wouldn't come open, and you got a bunch of crystallization from air, but then we start to have some hardening. Now down below this, there might be some goo off of the surface, so I might try to see if I can save any of it, but this is from go ahead and MEK, just the residue of MEK getting on it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix up a batch here. Oh, we also have a spoon, because this is how we're going to get fillets. We're going to go like this with it. I'll show you once we apply it, and we'll go from there. So let me go ahead and set you guys up on the mini stand here and mix some of this up for you. And how we do it, we'll do a section. Take a bunch of that, pop it down here. We'll use two big plops. To get our first initial fillets. I'm going to cover it. Now it comes with a ring. Let me show you. It helps to seal it, but also helps to keep oxygen out of it so you don't get that crystallization. That's this ring right here on that. So what we're going to do now is, MEK doesn't go bad, so we'll use the older one first, and we're going to put like 2, 3, 4, 5 on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on that one. It doesn't take a lot of MEK to do this, to kick it off, and then we're going to mix it really well. Let me point you guys up so you can see me mixing this here. You're going to fold it over and mix it up real well. Like I said, in this temperature, it's about 81 degrees. It's going to kick off and go. If you can do it at about 70, it's the best for it, because you'll get probably a 20-25 minute working time on it. You don't really want to do it below 70 degrees. You can probably get away with it with 60 if you have like halogen lights like I have. That'll go ahead and warm the surfaces up a little bit. But mix it up really well. Take a good minute or two to do it. I can smell it. It's starting to kick, you know. I'm not feeling heat or anything from it, but I can smell the mixture coming off of it. MEKP to catalyze it. It's polyester, it's not epoxy, so. And this stuff won't cure unless you put a wax coat over the top when you're done, or something to keep the oxygen out. We're not worrying about it because we're going to laminate the epoxy right over the top of it. So we want it to set up and start to cure, and then we'll put like a coat of epoxy paint over it in the bilge paint when we're done, to go ahead and seal out the oxygen, and then it will go ahead and go right up. All right, let's take the tools of the trade let's go on up into the boat. Go ahead and get you guys set up. Right here for now. Not looking at the sky, but down at the boat. So overall, we put like, oh, in that plot, maybe 10 or 11 drops of MEK. P in it. Always forget the P. Alright. So, let's go ahead and bring you down. Start on the back side here. Give you a little idea what we're doing. How we're going to do it. Okay, there's lots of ways to apply it. You can apply it with a spoon and push it. I'm going to use my mixing spreader. Okay. And start right on the bulkhead right here. And you have to fill it in here. So what I'm going to do is that. Dump some stuff in it. Make a nice fat fillet. Okay. Take our spoon, push this down a little bit, and round it out just like that, okay? Just like that, right in there. Now we're going to come through and clean up the excess. Alright, come in here and clean up that excess. Clean up this excess. Down to this side. Put it in there. Plop it down in there. Pain. Those corners. We're going to use a different technique. Use the spoon and a finger. Get it down in there. Get that corner like that. And then we're going to smooth that out. For a nice fillet. Clean that up. Some in here. Curl this up. Turn you around a little bit so you can see me. Alright. Pull that out. Pull it up into here. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to do that on all of those filleted joints, and we'll go from there, and I'll come back and I'll show you the results of that, because you know, how much of that do you really need to see? Alright, so I stopped for a second. I'm glad I did, because we had an issue. The original batch that I put in here did not cure. It was like an hour afterwards and it didn't, so I pulled it out. And I used the new MEK. The older MEK bottle that we used to catalyze it is not good. But this is catalyzed, fully dried now, with a nice little fillet. So we can go ahead and we can do the rest. We'll set it up and we'll go ahead and plunk some in here and catalyze it. I wanted to give you an update. Old stuff, you got to use this immediately. And any leftover, get it done as quickly as you can, because it goes bad. That stuff was probably sitting, what? Oh, probably a year, at least a year. It's I hadn't used it in a year, so you can't go that long with it. But we've got it going now, so we're going to go ahead and get the rest of this filleting done, and I'll show you the rest of the filleting job when we got it done, and we'll move on to the tapping. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so we're in the shop. I'm going to show you something here. This is my, hopefully you can see it, it'll come around here in a minute. We're 96 degrees in the shop, and this is over by the door. It's even hotter when I'm in the boat, especially when I have the lights on. It's I stuck a thermometer in there, and it's like 100 and what, 103 or 104. That's too hot to do epoxy or structural putty, because you get a working time of about 5 minutes unless you put like 2 drops, and then it takes forever to cure because it's just not enough. So we're going to I'm just mentioning it, so if you're doing this stuff, you kind of need a balanced temperature. You want to be probably not above 85 or so, and not below 65 when you do this stuff. Otherwise, you're going to run into temperature issues when you're doing this. You got to be in the window. So we're going to divert to something else for a second. Not that you'll be able to tell on the video, because we'll just pop back in, but I wanted to mention it. And we'll come back tonight when it's a little bit cooler in here and finish up this stuff, and you'll see that. All right. So, but I just wanted to mention that why we were doing this. If you're going to go ahead and do that, you got to mind your P's and Q's with respect to temperature, or you can run into some issues. All right. So we'll be back with some more exciting epoxy work. All right. So let's update you real quick. We started doing fillets here. You can see it down in here. The bulkhead, no problem. Because it's got smooth contact between the bulkhead and the floor, the fillets are coming out fine. But in the areas where I left the gap, right, so I can sit it in there, it creates a ridge, and it won't give me a clean fillet. The only way I'm going to do is I'd have to build it up with the structural epoxy and then come back and put a clean fillet in. So we're not going to do that, and the reason why is it's going to double the cost for fillets. The original cost was about $100 for the can. It's going to probably take at least 2 cans if I try to do fill all these, because I grooved it. My fault, not the structural epoxy's fault. It works fine. It's because I left some of the old stringer in, the fiberglass portions, to create a canal and push it down into it and fill it with epoxy. It's going to be just as strong. There isn't going to be any problem. It's just that we're not going to get good clean fillets without raising the cost, and we're just not going to do that. So what we did is, when I started over here, I just filled the big gaps in that I had over there. The other gaps we're not going to worry about, because the epoxy is pushed up from it and it's screwing out. So what we'll do is we'll just jump right into doing the tabbing. We'll go ahead and tab it down. It'll be just as strong. It won't be as pretty. You'll have a gap where you can get some air underneath it, but it's, I mean, you got the weep holes anyways that lead to some other spots underneath that aren't filled, so it's not going to be a big deal. It'll be just as strong once everything is together. So we're going to go off. We're going to do that, get that started, and just move on and get this floor in. So that's where we're at. Just wanted to update you guys real quick. All right, so let's get prepped to do those tabbings. Okay, and what we got here is this is 6-inch wide tabbing. It's a biaxial weave. You can see it. It goes in 2 directions. One way this way, and then you got matting on the back of that. Okay. So we're going to put that down, and we're going to put the matting side out when we do it, and we're going to put the biaxial weave side against the stuff to do the tabbing. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to cut what we need to do the, let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to show you guys, I'll go through when we go and do this. I'm going to do the interior here where the bulkhead is, the small part on the interior and the long part. So we got 2 101-inch long pieces we're going to put on that side and that side. We got 2 what are they, 74 or something like that on the inside here, and then 2 24s or something like that that'll go here. So we're going to do that section. I'll show you how we do it. We saturate the stuff to go ahead, we put it in, we push the air out of it, and then I'll go ahead and I'll finish the rest, because the rest will all be 12 foot. So what's that, 144-inch ones that we'll do on the outside, and they'll go real quick once we do that. So that's what we're going to do with that. But I'm going to show you a couple of things here. First thing that you want to do is you want to pick yourself up a good pair of electric cutters, because you want the heavy duty kind, because this stuff, I mean, you can do it with a regular pair of scissors if you want, but it just goes much faster, especially if you're cutting a lot of it, to go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to 101 inches. Let's see, I got the sizes written down: 46, 101, and 21. Okay, so we're going to do the 101s. We tape our measure. We're going to go ahead and pull it out, measure it, cut it up, and do 2 of those, and then we'll just cut them all up. I'll set you guys up on the stand. You can watch real quick. No big deal. It's just regular cutting everything.
What's important is the material here that we're using. And I mean, you can do it with anything, but the biaxial works really, really well because it adds strength to it. And when you put the matting side out, it makes a good product for finish. So let's go ahead and just set you guys up here. I'm going to go ahead and pull 101 inches. 102 inches will make it or so. A little over is okay. No big deal. Let's see what we got so far. Okay, we're about halfway there. I'll fold that up like that just to keep it clean. Try not to let it hit the ground. Fold it up again. Oh, my woodpecker's back. I don't know if you can hear that, but I got a woodpecker here who likes to make noise. There's a knocking list. It's like Morse code going on. Let's see what we got here. Stretch it out. Oh yeah, we're over. So I'm going to draw back one. A little bit of this back. Like that. Check it again. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you can trim it in there or you can just overlap it. Doesn't really matter. I just primarily want to make sure that you got enough. Okay, it's like right about there is pretty good. Just gonna pull it up a little bit. Make sure we got the stuff that's hanging there. Okay. Then let's put that sucker right across. Just like that, piece of cake. Let's see what we got. Should have weighted down. Go anywhere. That's sitting at 104 on that end. And maybe an inch over. So we get about 104 there, which would be just fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold that up a little bit, keep it clean. I know you're looking at that. Let me turn it here. So we're just gonna, actually we'll just roll it. How's that? So I'm gonna roll the stuff like this. So when we go to do this, we will we'll fold it. I'll take it out of the roll and I'll fold it, and then we're going to go ahead and saturate it, dunk it into the stuff, and get it saturated. So it'll be just fine. All right, and so that's how you cut that up. Now I'm going to go cut the rest of these. It's not necessarily compelling video to watch me cut a lot of stuff up, but There you go. That's basically what we're going to do. I'm going to do one more 101, and I'm going to do the 46s and the 21s, and we'll be all set with those. And then we'll fold them, we'll saturate them, and then we'll go ahead and we'll plunk them on, and you guys will see that. All right, so we'll be back just a second with that. All right, so we're getting set up here. A couple of important points when you're doing this stuff. Number one is always use the calibrated pumps, because then you know you're not going to get it messed up. It's calibrated such that it gives you 5 to 1, 5 volume to 1 volume. So some of the things you need to do is you need to make sure that you first prime the pumps, which we're going to do here in this older one, to make sure that everything's there. And then when you do get it in there, use full pumps. Pull your pump back up if you have to make sure. It's important that you mix it, and you mix it evenly, so it'll all, when you do the saturation, it'll all cure at the same rate. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start with the hardener. We're going to pump it. Okay, let me make sure that, yeah, there we go. That gave us a full pump on the hardener. And we're going to do the resin. Comes all the way up. That looks like it was a partial. Make sure it's up. Yep, and that's giving us all full. So we've gone ahead and we've cleared the pumps. We've got the pump set. So now when we go to mix it, and we're not going to worry about this because this is only partial. Well, I'm going to give it a swirl. See how thick it is. I don't know if you can tell. But we're going to go ahead and mix the container up, bring it up. We're going to start with 5 pumps. We'll see where our volume is, and then we'll add on to that, keeping it count. We want to be able to saturate at least one of the long ones to get it done. We can come back down and fill as many times as we need to, and we'll show you that. So we're going to start with a clean one here, and we're going to do 5 pumps in it of the resin. 1 all the way down. Pump come all the way up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm using Total Boats mixing things, and it's got a scale on here, so you can see on a scale it's at the it's up to the 1 level. So now you do, so 5 is going to give you to the 1. So whenever you fill it, here's your resin, here's your hardener, here's your resin, here's your hardener. So that's not going to be enough, so we're going to do another 5 pumps. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to do the hardener, same thing, 10 pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to give us a total of about 8 ounces worth of it. Then we're going to take our stir stick and we're going to stir for 2 minutes. And we're going to scrape the sides when we do this to make sure we have it. It's important that you mix it evenly when you're doing this. Check the watch. Been about 15 seconds. 12:02. We'll go to 12:04 on it. We may have to mix up more if it won't saturate it, but if you know, if it looks like it's going to be small, we're going to do the little ones first and put them in just to get the feel for it. on saturation, then we'll go and we'll do the bigger ones. Check our watch. Now 2 minutes isn't a long time, but it's a long time when you're stirring, let me tell you. Hold the bottom too when you're doing it so you can check for heat. See if it's getting warm, because if it's starting to get warm, it'll start to pot on you. And you want to get started then. It means you've got it thoroughly mixed at that point. It's starting to try and cure. We're at about 80 degrees right now in the shop, so be a good temperature to do this. Got bubbles in it. One more minute. Now you got to be expedient and you can't stop once you start to do this, but you don't have to like rush to kill yourself. Just be, you know, intent on what you're doing. All right, that's got our 2 minutes there. I would say we're thoroughly mixed. We're stick another one. We're going to take the squeegee just to help us out a little bit. We're going to take you guys. See if I can't get you set up here. And of course, I didn't take the cover off, so there it goes right in your view. Isn't that special? See if we can get you high enough on the stand. Well, you know what? We probably can if we put you in there. Yeah. Let's pull you off. Open up the, take off the stand piece here. Sorry for jiggling you around. Try and get you set up here. Go ahead and get up in the boat. So we'll do the bulkhead first, just to get the feel for stuff. How we're gonna do this. Make sure you don't kick anything. Right. Get you guys set up. Howdy. Bulkhead here. Yeah, a little lowered. Actually, how's that? Pretty good? All right. So I'm going to go to the back here. We'll take you with us for right now. So all we got to do is set you down. And what we're going to do is blow out our pan. Dump our epoxy in it. And remember, we want the epoxy spread out because we don't want it to set up too quickly on us. These are smaller ones, so we're going to get them in there and get it saturated. See how much it takes. So this was 10 pumps, so we're starting with that. Everything begins to stick, get sticky here. Move it up onto this. Fold it back over, get some of this in there. Like this, get this end in there. Yeah, we're gonna need to make another batch up, so we're gonna get this one wet on this side here. And on the back side of it. Make sure that we're good and saturated here. I'm worrying about having to get excess off, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. The bigger sheets we won't be able to do this way in terms of scraping it like this, because they'll... Okay. Pretty saturated here. And this one. So let's... Oh, we got a little piece in here. Right. Yikes. I'm gonna turn you guys rather than walk you over there, because I'm all sticky. And then I'll bring you over and take a look. So we're gonna put this down in here like this. Up here. About halfway. Down in there. That. This. Ooh, stretch it out. Gooey, gooey, itsy gooey, yuck. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll show you later. Put this in here like this. I'm going to pull this up on this side a little bit. There we go. You get corners like this, and I just put a hole in my glove. So that's special. Come on, straighten out. There we go. Cut them a little long, so they can give you a problem sometimes in that it wants to fold on you. And what I'm doing here is pushing it down in, making sure into the corners and stuff. I got some folding going on here. I'm going to have to cut that. Suppose I brought scissors up here. No, of course not. You're off to the side looking. Just grab you, hopefully without making a horrible mess. Nah, I'm all sticky. So, turn you a little bit if I can. See if you can see that. We laid it down on that side and it's in there. So I have to do a little trim job here. The next thing we do is we're going to take our tool. I'm going to rub it on it like this to get air out of it. And this is pretty good. It hasn't got a lot of trapped air. Oops. Let me pull that out. Open that. Uneven spots. Go quick, get a pair of scissors because we're going to have to trim that a little bit. Alright. Even gooey prints everywhere. Let's go ahead and cut some of this. So we'll lay down. There we go. Like that. Take our schmoozer. Put a little epoxy on it. Lay this down. Okay. That front part's epoxied in. I need acetone. This is gonna all stick. Hey, we still got some epoxy there, so let's go ahead and put another glove on. Another set of gloves. See how it's taking it real quick. We're gonna need to make up some more. Oops, hitting you guys. And making a mess dribbling. Letting this get saturated or trying to. Alright, we're gonna go quick up, make another quick batch here. Dump it on top, we should be okay. Yeah, we're gonna need more when we do those bigger ones, because that was like 10 pumps and it did one with some extra. We're doing another 5 to finish it off. So what's that, 15 pumps for the little ones? The next ones are 46, so it could be a good 20 pumps. We may do a mass epoxy develop. Since I with the gradients on here. Okay. Good to go. Stretch it out a little bit. See, yeah, see, it's starting to. There's no good way. I mean, you could lay this down and then bring it over and start to paint it on any way you wanted to. I like to saturate it just because it's easier. Could do. Let's turn this over. Just down like this. Put epoxy into it. There we go. You catch me singing Hot Dog from Mickey's Clubhouse, it's because we got a toddler in the house. Watch that, and it's stuck in my brain. It's getting better. Get some of it up here. It's mostly saturated. We'll come back with some once we got this in. Take out any excess that we have, leave it in the pan, and we'll bring it up. Okay. So we get the flat leaf side because we want to put that down. In here on this bulkhead. Using our fingers right now to press it in. You get a nice shot on my butt. We'll show you once we got it done. Alright. Gooey. Let's take the liner out. Take it with us. Maybe not. Since how the liner doesn't want to be that way. Let's push it down. Like gel on me. I'm running out of working time. Not sticky, making the camera sticky. All right, turn that on. The bulkhead there, it's all pressed. It is. It's pressed down. It's stuff underneath that you're seeing. All in there. Same with this. We got this one that's being a pain because it's crimpling, but it'll be fine. Alright, so that's what you do. That's going to stiffen that up substantially. The other ones will be a little bit easier because in terms of laying flat, because they're just straight runs, right, and they're not curling in the corners or anything. So we'll do the smaller ones next. Go here and go here. And then the bigger ones that go here, go here. I got to figure out just exactly how much epoxy we need. I'll go ahead and get those in, and then I'll show you so We don't get you guys all sticky. All right, so we'll be back. Okay, so how about a quick update? This is all done in the middle. Everything laid down, epoxied well. So we got a good one here and that. Now what we've done here is, instead of doing two separate 6 inches, one for each side, I just cut out of my big cloth a 12-inch wide one and just laid it out in the middle like this. And this is going to have big advantages as we do it, because now what we can do is just pour the epoxy in the trough. It'll get absorbed by the cloth and pull it up on each side. You don't have to worry about wasting it, because I kept sweeping it up from running off on this section when we were doing the single tabs. But here on both of these, you can just wet it, press it down, and pull it up, because it's probably going to take, see, I've been mixing 15 pumps, which is probably half the mixing cup. It's probably going to take a minimum of 2, maybe 3 per side, or 2.5 per side to get it done to here. And then the only ones we'll have to do is just cut a piece for the backside on each of these. Boom, 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 and you're all done. You got it all epoxied in. We can set the frames in then. Supporting frames, get them all in. Once they're in, we'll give it another cleaning, and we can go in and we can hit it with some epoxy bilge paint and get this all, you know, covered so it will totally seal. And then we can start working on the other stuff we need before we drop the flooring, because we've got to put the seat in it in the front and locate where we're going to put the shift lever. That's got to be put in. I'm going to swap out the steering wheel for the new steering system I have, because that's going to have a cable running down here to go back to the rudder over here. And we get that in. We'll put a hole over on this side to run wires through, to get the wires into the engine bay, and then back here to the blower and the lights in the fuel tank. It's coming together. All right, so I'll show you the finished product once we got it here. Just wanted to give you a quick update. All right, so there's the results of the 12-inch in the trough. Let's get a little light on the subject. What do you think? So it laid down pretty well. We also got this one in, getting ready to do that one. But it pulled a little bit at the bottom here. I had to keep pulling it up. That is saturated. It looked like it got doubled or something, because there's something underneath there. But it's right up. It was a pain though, because it's stiffer than when I do it in the halves. So I had to like really pull it up, use the brush and pull it up onto the sides to get it. But came out well, man. I tell you, this thing ain't moving. Let me tell you that. It's got stringers in it, and like I said, we got the back cloth. I just cut myself on a piece of fiberglass, ready to go. So we're going to do that one and get that one done, and we'll have this whole side done. And I'll come back and do this, because it takes a lot of epoxy to do that. And I want to make sure I get that done. I've got an order coming in, so to finish it up. And I think what we're going to do is do it by quarter. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, because it takes about 100 ounces of the epoxy to get it done. That's a lot of epoxy, trust me, to fully saturate it and to get it to stick. So we'll do it by quarters. We'll come in here and we'll do like 20 ounces, 25 ounces, and get that quarter, and then come in and do this quarter, and then this quarter, and then this quarter, and get it to lay down. We will have this one already done, this far one here that's all laid out, because I have enough stuff to do that and get that done. And then we'll just have to do that back piece and get it all done. And then all the stringers are done in terms of tabbing and in there. We'll come in, we'll lay the frame rails, get them all fit on there, and get ready to put a floor on top. And we'll do the stuff that we need to do underneath the floor first. Make sure we got everything set up, and we'll hit it with some bilge paint, everything the same color. Then we'll go ahead and we'll get those tops on it, and we'll have the floor done with this thing, and we'll be able to work a little bit on the hull, just to clean the hull up a little bit. We'll paint the hull a little bit, and pop the motor in, and get the steering in, and all that kind of good stuff. So hang tight, and we'll be there very soon. All right, so everything is fiberglassed in with epoxy, and the tabbings, it came out okay. I mean, we got a couple spots here where it's I've got air trap that didn't get pushed out, but it's okay. It's not going to substantially weaken anything. But everything is is in. I mean, some of it pulled out a little bit, but everything is very, very firm. Everything is very saturated. Everything is done. I've got the cross frames in, and some of them, as you can see here, we got gaps, significant gaps. So we've got to go through and get everything lined up down so that they're contacting the support here. You push down on one side, and then the other side will pop up a little bit. So we got some bowing going on a little bit high. But we'll go through with my little bit of grinder. I have a sander grinder here, and we'll get these to set down. Once we have them set down, we'll box them in place. We'll put a screw with, drill a hole, put a screw with a fender washer, and make sure these are all set when we do it, and pull everything tightly down. Once we do that, the only two frames that'll be uncut are frame S5 here, station 5, and station 1 up there. 4, 3, and 2 will all get cut inside the rails here, like this, to clear a place for where the motor goes, because the motor sits right in this section, right in here. Once we do that and we've got that all epoxy down and covered, we're going to go in, we'll give one more good little cleaning, we'll trim up a little stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit it with some bilge paint, white bilge paint, with everything painted. It'll look pretty nice. It'll be pretty clean. And then we can come back once that's done, because we got to put some holes in the bulkhead here where we've got the shift rods got to be located. So we'll, right here are the holes for the seat. We'll set the seat in that's here so we can get a location. We'll put the shift rod in. We'll run the shift linkage back that goes to the transmission to switch it on. We'll need the steering. This one is coming out because it was broken. I've got another one. We'll put that in. It's a flexible rod that comes down and goes to the rudder and then moves in and out like this to turn the rudder. We'll place that, and then on this side we'll have to put a hole where we're going to go and run a conduit down for electrical that'll pop out here in the engine bay and then all the way back for the lights tank sender. A bilge pump, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a bilge pump in here. It came with one, an older one. We're going to put a new, more modern one in there. And we'll put a sacrificial piece of wood down there with epoxy and screw it to that. It'll be low, you know, we'll keep it to like 1/4 of an inch or something, so it's not too high for the water. And we'll put a double float system on it where the lower float comes up and engages, then the top one turns it on, and it won't turn off until the lower one releases that way. Then we'll get this pump surging. When we do that, make sure that all these frames are tight. We'll be in good shape. Then we'll be ready to put the floor on. Once we have it in, we'll get the floor on. And the floor doesn't go all the way back or all the way forward. It actually terminates. I mean, the back seat comes into this area here and does this. So this will terminate the floor probably right at the line or just a little bit beyond the line. And then the same thing up front, where it goes under the front of the dash and terminates. So it'll probably terminate just a little bit shy of the front of the headers, front of the stringers, the long stringers are. So probably right about where this one terminates. And then there's a slanted board that'll come up like that and connect everything. So you have a little bit of a storage space under there. The other thing we need to do is re-drill the weep holes because they got epoxied over. We have to find them, like here. There's a weep hole, and we'll stick a drill and we'll pop those back open on all those. So when water gets in, it can drain to the center and go down to the front end. So that's where we are. It came out pretty good. Everything's stiff and hard. It ain't going anywhere, I'll tell you that. And these are all epoxy sealed, like I told you, so we don't have to encase them in fiberglass. They're just not going to rot. Any holes we poke in, and we'll make sure that we put some epoxy down in there to make sure that they're waterproofed. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll get those frames and we'll bring you in on the next section. I'll give you a little show on how we do that to fit those frames in there, and then we'll just finish them up. And then we'll move on from there and tell you what we're doing. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so we're going to end this video here where we got the tabbing in, and then we'll bring the rest of the stuff with you because we, as usual, we got a billion segments here, so we want to break it up a little bit. So hang tight, We appreciate you watching to this point. We got other ones coming to finish out where we are with the boat, getting everything epoxied down, getting everything painted, and getting the floor in, and then where we move on to the next stuff. All right, so we appreciate you. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back at you with the next part of the video after we do just a couple of things, so keep your eye open. Okay, so this is the video part 1.1, and we'll have 1.2 coming up for you. We appreciate you guys. See you real soon. Well, hi there, everybody. It's Hubby with Just About Anything Garage, and how about another exciting screw up as I'm recording? So we'll save this one as a blooper, and record a new one. So hang on.